Good evening. Well, I'll begin by saying I'm not a big baseball fanatic. I do know that the basics of hit the ball and run around the bases, and I also know that there are many different pitches. You have a fastball, a curveball, a changeup, a slow ball, and so on. Life is full of changes, or life is full of pitches. If you think about it like this, a fastball may be when our lives are busy and we're rushing through things. A slow ball may be when life is just going as it normally does, routine, day in, day out. A change up, maybe when life's going great, then suddenly something happens and it's changed. Well, you get the point about that. As I mentioned before, life is like a pitch. You never know what is coming and at what time you'll receive it. You may miss some pitches, but you can't give up. Life is full of up and downs, but you got to keep going. I mean, could you imagine watching a baseball game and the team is hitting every single pitch, making home runs? It'd be a pretty boring game. So, anyways, uh, we can look at Job as a good way of dealing with life. At the beginning, he had everything. And you know that saying, trying to keep up with the Joneses? Well, this could be said about Job, because he probably had it all. He had a wife, 7 sons, 3 daughters, probably the biggest house, the best stuff, the servants, the land, the cattle, you name it, Job had it. And Job chapter 1, verse 3, it says, he was the greatest man in the East. And I'm not sure about you, but the East, it's pretty big. And Job may have lived a great life, but he also had a better spiritual life. Later in Job, later on in Job, a servant comes to Job and tells him that Job has lost it all. He's lost his house, his family, his servants, his livestock, everything. But he didn't just give up right then and say, I call it quits, I throw in the towel. Instead, he gets down and worships God. In Job chapter 1, verse 23, it says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. The Lord gave, and the Lord shall take away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. As I said, Job had every opportunity to just give up, but instead he keeps a strong faith and trust in the Lord. What does Job do instead of just giving up? He takes off his robe, shaves his head, and worships God. When we are thrown a bad pitch in life, how many times do we actually stop and just give everything to God? But also, Job's problems didn't just end there. Then in chapter 2, verse 7, Satan strikes Job with painful boils from his head to his toe. And Job, in a very painful way, took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself while he sat in ashes. Then, again in verse 9, his wife asks why he holds fast to God's integrity and curse God and to die. After all Job has been through with losing everything he now has his wife telling him just to curse God and die. We would think that Job has, again, every right to just give up and just call it quits. But he doesn't do that. He keeps a strong faith in God, and later Job is restored everything that he lost. He receives back his land, his servants, his livestock, his children, and even greater riches. This goes back to life throwing us pitches. We as Christians cannot give up. Life may be hard and difficult, but we had to stick with it. Life will give us all sorts of different pitches. Some we may even strike out on. Others we may foul or completely miss, but we can't quit. We can hit the majority of the pitches, but if we give up then, what does it profit us? If we have faith but no works, then it is dead. And how can we expect people to know about Christ if we don't teach it to them? So in life, we will be thrown pitches, but we can't rely on somebody else to hit because we're up to bat. We can either hit our pitches and make them home runs, or we can sit back and strike out. Which would you choose?